Welcome to my program, Bashy's Corner. We are very well known for taking issues which mainstream media doesn't want, doesn't care, or maybe they're afraid to discuss those issues, but we do. Many opinion polls have suggested that ethnic minorities in general do not vote as much as the Danish majority does. But this pattern is slowly changing now. The younger generation, they are more aware of their rights, and that is why they are joining various political parties according to their own will. They work with issues that affect the society, they help the needy, try to make a difference in the society. My guest today is one such young politician. He not only deals with day-to-day problems in the municipality he works, he is also involved in NGO work, is concerned with social inequality, and wants to be a bridge between those who have and those who doesn't have. He is member of the board of municipality of Frederiksberg, where I also live, which is what's the best municipality in whole Denmark. And he is also involved in political setup, even if it is in the center of Copenhagen, he's there. Welcome to my program, Fasael Rehman.
Thank you very much.
I know that I have been trying to entice you to come to my program, but I'm happy that you did. As I said in my introduction, you are involved in many issues, politics, social and voluntary work. How do you manage all those things and then have a private life?
It's a good question, and thank you for the welcome.
You're welcome.
I think I have the support, luckily for me, support from the family, support from my wife, Stine, and my mother and my brothers. I have and friends. But it is difficult to manage all these things because we need to. I mean, I think it's important to be engaged and participate in society, and I think it's typical for people who have a passion,
Yes.
and that you have some things you want, and somebody has to do it, and you always end up saying, "I will do it."
You put the finger.
Yeah, it's always the same people, same group.
Looking at your CV, Rehman, I noticed that you studied sociology at the University of Copenhagen. What was your first job after you graduated?
It was with analysis.
Okay.
Yes, sociology is a great tool to comprehend the society, to understand research, where are we going as a society, where are we, and where do we want to go, and knowledge about best practice. What does the research say? How to apply it? So my first job was with methodology, analysis, research, but also about work environment.
Apropos sociology, I was reading the other day a book which was very interesting, that the whole sociology field, it was invented by Ibn Khaldun, who was a Moroccan Muslim Arab sociologist, and his books were, he wrote so many books on sociology that it needed a camel to carry his books, So it's amazing that we don't know, we think sociology has been invented by the West, but it was invented by an Arab Moroccan sociologist. He was the first, they call him the father of sociology. Then you were drafted in National Guard. How was this experience from university to the National Guard in the mud?
It was actually very difficult in the beginning. I was not in the army. I was in the civil, what do you call it, beredskab.
Yes.
The emergency
services,
yes, where you actually are trained to save lives as a firefighter.
Okay.
So I undertook the formal education as a firefighter.
Wow.
And
the fire brigade?
Yeah, the fire brigade, actually, yes. I learned a lot, and it's quite difficult when you have 1000 Celsius in a suit.
Yeah.
That's
Heavy suit.
Yeah, heavy suit. But it was a good experience for me. Also, the thing about camaraderie.
That's true.
They
help each other,
the brotherhood,
each other,
and to seek a higher purpose, and also to learn that we had different minorities. We had different. We have people from Jylland, we have people from Jutland, from Zealand. So it was a great mix, and it was lovely to see that we learned to adapt and focus on the common purpose.
You talk about camaraderie. There, you don't see a black person or a white person, or
of course they didn't.
They help and support each other to put the fire.
In they don't. I mean, that's the end goal. And but in the beginning, as a process, it was difficult because people come from a society. They come with there's culture and there's subcultures.
Yes.
And we have, these subcultures can be manifested in different ways. People have prejudice. We all do.
Of course.
We all do.
Oh, yeah.
Even us, we have prejudice about extreme right wing or extreme left wing.
That's an opinion.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, opinion. But we have some notions, some mental schemas, categories about the other.
I can hear the sociology. That's true. Then the question is that from there, how did you end up in politics? You know,
my path to politics.
Your passion. I mean, why did you go into politics?
Actually, it started in 2000 when I was in student organization called UPSA.
All right.
And also other organizations where we work. Well, I had this need. Because I grew up in Smørum. Smørum is outside of Copenhagen, and I didn't see many people with the same skin color. So I was brought up in a small town, Smørum, and so I had this need.
But the chairman of OPSA was also living there.
In that way. Yeah, but he wasn't there when I arrived.
Okay.
He was old school or veteran. But that's true. But you had a lot of interesting people. You had the people who were really religious in OPSA, this student, and you also have very cultural and intellectual and political interested. And I won't say I was one of the intellectuals, but I had an interest in academia, in politics, and the need to save the world. I saw a lot of self and proclaimed integration consultants who didn't have the background as a researcher, but they were talking about research as a status without having the knowledge or tools.
The background,
in the background, pseudo experts.
Very right. I remember in the 90s I wrote a very nice article in Information, and that was the topic, research among immigrants without being an immigrant. You know, it was the same issues. Anyway, now you are a member of a party, which is very old party, it's a conservative party, but it has, in many people's opinion, especially people of ethnic minority, that this is a party of rich people. And you believe in solidarity, you believe helping the poor. How did you end up in this party?
I actually, when I moved to Frederiksberg, I ended up realizing that I had been conservative all the time. I mean, I had social values without being a socialist. I also had liberal values without being a liberalist. And for me, the best picture is, let's say, let's talk about cars and bikes. For me, it is about both. We cannot only look at as a workforce, citizens who have car and citizens who have bikes. We need to. But
this is the impression your party gives, or people have about your party.
But that's not. I mean, what I see in the local context, and also a movement within the party, there is, and also very old roots with social awareness. It's actually the environment and social knowledge and responsibility and help is a very conservative idea. So if you go back in history, it's very classic conservative. But you have new ideas and new approaches. There will always be that. But for me, the local context was important, and I've realized Mads Lebeck, the old mayor of Frederiksberg, I met him, and we had many discussions, and I was really inspired to see this mixture of you have to have good taxation, but you also need to do a lot of initiatives and help the poor.
So when did you got elected with the municipality of Frederiksberg? When?
It was in 2013.
Okay, so it's recently.
Yeah, recently. This is my first period.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you will be now candidate again?
Yeah, I have actually formally in April I got the.
Okay. All right. Okay. In your political work in these 4 years, which areas did you focus? What was your main interest in local politics?
It was youth. It was development of the city as a green development, and it was integration, because I think that integration it's a very complex theme. If I say integration, perhaps some people will think about assimilation, some will talk about integration, but integration can be both ways, and it could be 30-70, it can be 50-50. There's no formula. But so integration...
It's not becoming a Dane, but becoming part of the society.
Yeah, I mean, becoming perhaps a Danish Pakistani or Pakistani Dani. We talk about hybrid identity.
Sure.
And for me, identity isn't... We have in sociology, we have something called essentialism. You believe that cultures are static, but they are relational. And that's my position in this. I believe that we are a mixture. We give and take. We negotiate. We navigate. Pakistan isn't the same as it was in the 70s.
And also, many Pakistanis are different. Some are liberal, some are conservative, some are socialist. I mean, they are as Danish society. So when you campaigned first time,
I just want to answer so about the position and the values I worked for was integration, better integration, because I wanted to empower the minorities. We can talk about that later. I also wanted to, without the empowerment, it was important that the youth gained appropriate education. It doesn't have to be academia.
Engineer, doctor.
No. Okay. Do what you want to do, but excel in it. Be best or thrive. Right. It's very important.
That is. Yeah. So when you campaigned first time, as a politician, and you went and spoke with people, what did you say to them?
I must say that was in 2009.
Okay.
Actually.
First time.
Yeah, that was my first time I ran.
Okay. So what did you say to
city
them?
council?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was very important that I wasn't going to be a minority politician.
Yes.
Because I was born here, raised here, I have values, I have connections with my roots, Pakistani roots, sure. I respect them, but I am also a product of this society.
Of course.
So for me, it was important not to
be seen as a minority politician.
So actually in 2009, I didn't focus on the minorities at all.
Okay.
I didn't. Because I did it in my...
So that's why you didn't get succeed?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I did it in my NGO work.
Yes,
I have this NGO. I work with different areas with dialogue work and culture meetings and conflict resolution, etc., etc.
But how was the voters' reaction when they saw a handsome young man, colored man, asking for votes?
The voters' reaction was very nuanced, multifaceted. Some people were actually really happy. A lot of the voters of Frederiksberg, they perhaps vote something else. If you look at the Folketingsvalg, the national election, but they vote conservative. I think it's about 1 out of 3. So
it was your party they focused on?
Yeah. But then when they saw me, they think, wow, yes, of course, we are also progressive. So I met a lot of conservative voters who were happy. I also met people who were saying that I was a traitor. I met an ex-communist elder woman. She said I should go down to, it wasn't Syria, I should go out and do something for the poor who are migrants.
So she thought that being a migrant, you can only work for migrants.
Yeah, that was the notion.
Well, then the question is that there also live many ethnic minorities in Frederiksberg. I live there too. Why in the first election in 2009, why didn't you go and talk to them? You said you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I didn't focus. Of course, my strategy was to talk with the people I met on the street.
Okay.
But I didn't go to mosques. I didn't go to, because it is when you mix politics with religion, and so basically it was. Yeah,
I'm not talking about mosques, Rehman. I'm talking about businesses.
Businesses, yeah.
I'm talking about kiosks, shops where people are there, living there, and then there are people with ethnic minority background, who have businesses. They have offices, and I'm sure they have the same political views as you have. So could be
absolutely, absolutely, and that was my realization. During the process from the first time I ran in 2009 to 2013, I realized when I ran in 2013 that I had to look at all the citizens in Frederiksberg, and so I spread, and that I think was one of the reasons that I succeeded. Yeah, I actually got I succeeded with 3 votes. I was 3 votes.
One was mine.
Yeah, they all say.
No, I went there because I am this so-called classical socialist.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll vote for, there was a lady I knew, Pernilla Fram, at
yes,
the time.
Yes, Pernilla Fram.
Yeah. But then I said, she'll get a lot of SF votes, so maybe it's good to give a vote to somebody who's young and coming up.
I can only say thank you. If
no, it's just, are there other politicians with minority background in your municipality? There
are probably 2.
Okay.
I think there was a guy called Ali. Ali Maktabi. He ran. He was there for, I think, from 2001 to 3 periods.
Yeah.
He didn't get elected last time.
No.
And I think he switched from Social Democrats to Alternative.
Okay. Ali Maktabi.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's a guy called from Enhedslisten.
Okay.
But you do. I mean, and you also have you don't have that many.
No, but that's a good thing that they're from different parties. Okay. Every politician depends on a sport group. Do you have a sports group?
I actually do.
Okay.
This time I do. I didn't. The two previous time I didn't. But now I've experienced people from different backgrounds, different professional backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, who are willing to help me, who are supporting me, and I was really surprised when I was discovered that others were willing to dedicate some time for me.
I saw one Danish man with a big poster on his back.
Yeah.
It was also say vote for
vote for Fasael. That's right. Kai Rasmussen. He is elder. I met him. I met him in a plejehjem. Older people's home, yeah. And he was such a passionate fellow, elder. And I think for me it's important that we meet as human beings.
Of course.
As I think it was Grundtvig who said human first. So for me, if you are Jewish, Muslim, you're homosexual, you're elder, I try not to look at that. Of course, we have these mental schemas. But I actually try to be open. So also if I meet some of the viewers in the streets, they will hopefully find me as an open-minded guy who are willing to listen. So I always try to listen more. I know now I'm actually talking quite a lot.
No, it's
but
fine.
I try to listen more than I speak.
Your municipality is supposed to be rich, lower taxes, infrastructure is beautiful, and it's
the green scenery.
And it is the only smaller municipality in Copenhagen which is run by your party for 100 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Having such a rich municipality, then, and you work for social equality.
Social equality.
Is there a problem in municipality for social equality?
No, not at all. I think actually the reason that conservative Frederiksberg, conservatives in Frederiksberg have been successful in over 100 years is that it's a saying, I don't know if you've heard it, but byens parti, the party of the city. And it's also the green color, and they also have a color in Frederiksberg called Frederiksberg green.
Color,
So I think one of the reasons is that we have focus on many groups, rather than saying, we only look at them, the rich people or resourceful people, or the middle class. We actually have a policy for different groups. Yes. And we try, I can also mention a lot of initiatives we have where we actually try to help people help to self-help.
You are now at the moment in local politics, but we cannot separate your party's local policies and then your national policies. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple of things for your party. Your party, Conservative, is part of a national unity minority government at the moment. They support them. And also the ministers, your chairman is a minister, your other members are Justice Minister. That means Fasael working very closely with Danish People Party, which no ethnic minority likes, as I know. Whatever your political views, but you also have an ethnic background, you know. How doesn't it bother you that your party, which is socially aware and wants to work, and they're working with this anti-immigrant, anti-Islam, anti-everything party?
Well, if you had asked me 4 years ago, I would say yes. And okay, I can say that some of me says yes. I actually wrote a big article or message online in the election year 2015, where Danish People's Party were actually, they had an extremely big increase in voters. And a lot of my friends were talking about moving out of the country. Now we're moving. I remember clearly. And I said, the sky's crying, it's raining, and we're sad. It's sad that they are growing. And it is because
and that's the reality.
Yeah, that's the reality. Now they're not increasing, now they're decreasing.
Going down.
But basically, I think what I wrote was, it's important to understand the voters. There was a lot of first-time voters. It is important to understand their fear. Why do we see this polarization? For me, it is very unhealthy that if you look at right-wing or as extremely right-wing or extremely, it is dangerous if we don't talk with each other. It's not good for the democracy if we don't meet each other, have dialogue, and also what do you call it, udfordre. Challenge the view. So in order to get back, I would say it's not a problem if they work for the good values, but I don't see anything. I'm talking about the local politics.
Yes,
now.
No, I understand, but you are also a potentially you would be in parliament, I'm sure, with your capabilities and your progress. You have good contacts with your top party, you know. I mean, they come and they also help you people. Did you talk with them about the perception of the party and all the discrimination ethnic minority feel in society? What your party can do to help?
Of course. That, I mean, every time I see something that needs to be fixed or improved, I try to say it out loud.
And they listen.
If you remember, there was this campaign called Stop Nazi Islamism.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Stop Nazi Islamism.
Yeah.
I actually, on the day afterwards, when I saw it, I went out and I wrote I wrote a message and declared what my meaning was. That said clearly out to the board, the top, in the media, even in local politics. I said it out loud.
You were also in TV?
I also in TV, the news, and in radio, and I had this. I went out.
You also did demonstration.
Yeah, I did demonstration. I did, and I thought it was important. This is not conservative politics. This is not. So I said I agree with the message about fighting extremism, stopping it. But the rhetorics, the message,
comparing Nazism with Islam.
It was not good. So I said it out loud, and every time I see something that's not right, I will speak up. That's that is very important. Okay. Because integrity and confidence as a is extremely valuable in
Any
politics.
plans to move up?
I mean, I've been asked that before. I actually started with the ambition of going into national politics, but I'm now more focused on local politics in Frederiksberg.
So you are going to fight now the election in November 2017.
Going to fight all what I can. I mean, I will try my best.
Well, this is also one part of that.
Of course, going out and being open about values.
But you also volunteer for NGO work, don't you?
I do.
You are also a consultant with National Police Force, actually. What is that do you advise them?
I cannot say that.
No,
but I can say I work with analysis, and I work, and I'm really happy. I like the job, and for me, that's also with the vision of creating safety for the citizens, for you and me.
Sure.
And I try to take that in politics as well. Always look at what is the goal, and if the goal is to create safety for the citizens, it is important that we work with all the parties who are willing to do that.
Okay. And then you are also a board member of a Center for Prevention of Exclusion.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Mainly about ethnic minority exclusion. It's a rich country. Why ethnic minorities are excluded?
That's two
tough
very
question.
big questions.
Short answer.
Short answer. The new nature of a man. We have this willingness to. I mean, the stories we are presented in media are very conflict orientated. I think it's 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 stories that are focused on conflicts and horror, and we don't see the positive stories. So the short answer is that the media has a role, we have a role, the politicians have a role. Also, when we leave this studio, we have a role in how we address each other. I actually I say we need to look each other in the eye. As we need to reclaim that. Now, I do that every day. When I look at elders in my city, out of my city, I try to look and communicate with the eyes. In that way, we can remove the alienation. That's one of the problems, the fear of the other, the fear of the unknown.
And get to know each other.
I know this sounds like I'm a conservative hippie or something like that, but I believe in civil society. I believe in citizenship. So basically, I think it's important that we work with these problems.
Rehman, it was a pleasure listening to a young man with such international ideas, and I'm sure that our viewers, who are also voters, would have listened to you and vote for you when the time comes in November 2017. So until next time, take good care of yourself and do vote.